Let's recap all of the trading that took place today. And while the overall P&L was good, the trading was terrible. It was not great. It started out during the European session. I started trading because, due to a change in my schedule, I would not be here to trade during my normal hours. Ultimately, after a series of losing trades, I went on tilt. I increased my size, took a lot of reckless trades, completely veered away from the main strategy. But despite that, I was able to pull north of 1 million from the markets. So the account's up to 4282, and it was terrible trading. It was terrible trading. So let's make a start all the way back to the beginning of the day. So the first trade out the gate didn't allow it to work itself out here, I believe. There was a Colmex gold short. Went short, decided to get back in, and ultimately, with a lot of slippage trading during the European session, ended up losing quite a bit more than I anticipated. I think initially the stop was about minus 132, lost minus 175. We can see here at this point, there's only 120 units, which is pretty standard. But from there, I believe that's where I really started to really size up. So after all of these trades through here, at this point, I accidentally closed a trade due to charging my iPad. I was trading on the iPad at the time. So we had 400 units of NQ, which is just absolutely ridiculous. You can see we started the day with a balance around 30.93. Of course, we're going to be ending at 42.82, but we saw a 30.93, went into a drawdown. We're down to 28.54 there, 28.70. How did we go from 28.54 to 28.77? Doesn't make any sense. Oh yes, 8.52 to 8.77. That doesn't make any sense at all. Why is it higher? Anyway, so we had this NQ trade here. Oh, that was the commissions. So we made that small gain. From there, had an okay gain, took profits a bit early on the NQ. This was short in the market. Decided to close a gold position I had on. And here again, double the size. Rather than 120 units, had 240 units. So using more than twice the exaggerated size. Picked up 136. Got into a series of trades here on silver, it seems like. Made a loss over on gold of 202. Closed the position on silver, I believe. I don't believe this was a stop, but I think I closed the position here. Yes, I closed the position because I didn't like what I was seeing the price action in the market. To me, was clearly turning around. At that point, reloaded all these units. Managed to pick up 425 on NQ. Reloaded, picked up 331 on gold. Picked up 630 on silver. Then at the market open, I thought with NQ we could see a breakdown to sweep some lows in the pre-market. The market didn't do that. Instead, it broke higher and ended up losing 505 there. Ultimately, took a long in the line because the market was near all-time highs. I thought, well, the market's definitely going to go for all-time highs. So took a long, and ultimately picked up 856 there on the NQ, which ultimately brought our balance up again. At this point, after the early losses, I was trading 240 units of silver, 240 units of gold, and 400 units of NQ, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Far beyond what is reasonable for the account. Ultimately, it was revenge, a lot of it. So let's have a look at some of the trades. Again, we're seeing the market NQ's up 1.39%. ES up 0.76%. I think if we look at the overall daily chart, clearly see new all-time highs over there on 399. No way. We didn't get to new all-time highs on NQ. 26,399, and that was put in 30th of October 2025. And today the high is 377.50. Currently trading 358. Definitely thought we would have got to the highs. I guess not. No, that's ES has definitely got to new highs. Yep, ES is at new highs. So if we go back to our main chart. So this is where we were. Market came down. I saw the volume being put in here. I thought that would be enough of a low. And I was not actually using this chart, I don't believe. I wasn't. I was using another chart. So went long, price turned around, and ultimately paid for it. So after seeing this candle right here, I thought, well, I'll just go long, because I thought this could be the lows. Didn't wait. We did come into an area of interest. So we were into this area over here. Thought we could see buying, especially out of this level. So thought it would be buying over here. Didn't quite get there. Had a stop all the way down at this level. Price came down, got bought up pretty quickly, added to the position. This was when I started to trade with 400 units added to the position. And I think over here the market started to look fairly bullish. And so, not bullish, I think bearish here. And so I got out of the position. I then went long. Ultimately hit the target. Because I thought, well, the original trade idea still worked. The original trade idea did work. This was early. It's far too early. Should have went in on this position. Went in here. Off this zone. Went in early due to being stopped out over here with revenge. Added to that position. Ultimately got out. Eventually got back in. Target was hit. That was it for the gold trades. Due to scheduling, I couldn't trade during the main New York session. Over on, let's have a look at silver, because I think I took quite a few trades over at NQ. Again, so here I went short. This was very brief. So went short, notice price was stalling, similar to over on gold, and ultimately went in the opposite direction. Ultimately went long. Prices did eventually get to target here as we headed towards the New York Open. We can see prices extended well beyond the target, which was at 79,320. That's one of the bigger wins there today. And over on NQ. Over on NQ. Where are the... What's going on? Oh, this isn't NQ. This is crude oil. Let's get NQ on. Okay, so NQ. over on NQ. So went short again, was having issues with the technology. It took me out for a near break-evenish trade, went short again, took profits, went short again, and ultimately took profits. Very fortunate that I was filled. That was ultimately off this trade here again, not completely with the overall trading plan. Should have been looking for longs just based on how the market is. There was this area down here. It wasn't really that area, but it was. I'll show you where the area was. It was this area right here. So it was this area. We came, pulled back, went higher, pulled back, went higher. So this area was an area of interest. So prices came into the area. As we came out, went long, and target was hit. This is where I made a big loss on NQ. So I saw the selling that came in above these highs. Couldn't quite get to those highs there. So went short, thought I could see a move to retest these lows. But as we came towards the New York Open, prices clearly were not having that. Ultimately, we came into these lows right here. Couldn't see it because I was trading on mobile. Wasn't trading mobile, but I was keeping up with the market at this point right here. Ultimately, market came down. Didn't quite get there. Made adjustment to target. Wasn't enough. Prices then turned around and cleared these highs, and I was stopped out. Stopped out with some slippage up. Was it with slippage? No. I was actually stopped out more fortunately than I would have thought, actually. Stopped out 47. Thought it would have been about 49.50, but that's a good thing. Prices hung around in this area. And so I thought, well, if prices keep going down, keep getting bought, especially with the market near all-time highs on NQ, I thought, well, market's probably going to continue long like it has been doing all week. So when it did set up long, went long. Now, prices came within a fraction of my target, pulled back. So adjusted, stopped to, both break even into profits. So we could see a pullback and I'll be stopped out. And ultimately got a notification I was filled with some positive slippage. So all the way up at 54.75, and that was it. We can clearly see the market is extended. We've got the all-time high sitting at 399, up at 399 here on our friends over at NQ. Well, that was pretty much it. We can calculate the overall P&L. Again, today's a day I'm not even going to take seriously because of all the mistakes made, all the revenge trading, oversizing. It was a day I could have blown up the whole account, so it's a discounted day. I can't gain anything in terms of insight from today's results. I wasn't at the main chart, so I was trading on mobile for part of the day. Well, for the majority of the day. Didn't follow risk management rules, didn't follow sizing rules. Complete ship show. Let's be polite about it. It was a complete ship show. And I was fortunate I wasn't severely punished for all the mistakes I made today. I think the frustration of following the plan day after day and still losing certainly did a number on my psychology. And today was a day I just felt frustrated. I wanted to get it out of my system. And I suppose beat the market isn't the best place to do that. Instead, you're better placed probably using another account or not trading altogether, taking a break away from the markets. But that wasn't the case with me today. Instead, I kept trading, and this was what happened. Due to oversizing, picked up 1,1188,957.60, so 1,188,957.60. But again, it's something I cannot be proud of because I did not follow the rules. I was trading revenge due to the accumulation of losses over the past couple of days. But that's going to wrap up the entire video. So tomorrow, I may not be able to trade tomorrow. I've got a project I'm working on. But we'll see. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Good luck trading. Have a great day.